Still to come in this episode.
Why have you gone all radio?
Still to come in...
Steve.
Still to come in this episode.
Try it as yourself.
Still to come in this episode.
Hello and welcome to Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous, the business podcast that helps you power up your profile and get known for what you do. If you're looking to get noticed but shy away from the spotlight for fear of looking like a show-off, this is for you. I'm here to talk about making yourself a little bit famous. Maybe you see others getting attention for their careers and businesses and wished you could have that too. If so, you need to make yourself a little bit famous.
Coming up in this episode...
Who wants to be famous?
How to use Penny's face. That sounds rude, Penny.
It's an acronym. And we answer your questions and hear from Rose St. Louis. She's already making herself a little bit famous.
Really excited. We're going to be shining a light on why women need more protection and why they're underinsured in the industry. So really looking forward to the discussion. And now we've been photobombed.
Plus, don't expect us to do all the work.
We have a fresh Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous challenge. It involves wearing sunglasses and pictures of your dog. I'm Penny Haslam, an award-winning motivational speaker and author. I'm also a former BBC business journalist and TV presenter from the UK.
And I'm Steve Blears, a TV producer and director. I'm also a former BBC reporter.
Together, we are a bit famous.
Sounds like a band.
Does, doesn't it? Together, we are bit famous.
We work with businesses and organisations to raise their profile and share their purpose. Okay, let's get started. To kick things off, what are you motivationally speaking about, Penny?
I'm always motivationally speaking, Steve. But today, let's share my ideas about getting out there. Hello. Just show of hands. Who wants to be famous? There's always one or two. What, properly, truly Kim Kardashian style famous? Is that what we're talking? Not quite, you see. But hands up, who wants to be a best kept secret? You see, you don't want to be either, do you? So there is a middle ground. And I call it make yourself a little bit famous. It's really a way of raising your profile, getting known for what you do, so people think of you first rather than your competition.
So that's you speaking to an audience of salespeople at the National Sales Conference in the UK recently. I had the pleasure of seeing you speak there, Penny.
Why were you there, Steve?
I was filming you, as
and what
usual.
Else, Steve?
And supporting you as your husband.
Yeah, that's early disclosure. He is my husband. I am your wife.
What is this podcast about, Penny?
So it's helping people make themselves a little bit famous because guess what? It's not good for you to be a best kept secret, is it? You're never going to advance your career if you've got ambitions to do that. You're never going to be a great leader or someone who people can follow easily because your lack of visibility. And certainly if you run your own business, as a figurehead of that business or the brand itself needs to be more prominent and be out there. And you can do that through selling all day long, but that gets a bit tedious. So we work to help people get known, get liked, get trusted, all that kind of good stuff, and help them understand what they can say and how they can position themselves.
And this is the place to find out how to do it.
Well, we thought we'd knock the ideas about in a podcast. Hey, Steve. I'm looking over your shoulder at your big desktop and I can see a website looks amazing. What is it?
I'm on makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com. That's the book by Penny Haslam to help you get out there, raise your profile and get known for what you do. I've hopped on here because it's got some great resources. Look, have a look at this one. It's a free presentation planner and there's another one here called Face.
Using Penny's face? That sounds rude.
It's not, though. It's... I'm not quite sure what it is, but you're going to explain to me what it is.
I hope it's a... If we open it up, looks like a planner for things to say. So you sound concise, compelling, and confident. Hey, how about you use it in the sales meeting with Jeff later?
Yeah, he's going to be well impressed, and so is Brad and Kenny.
You're listening to Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous, the business podcast that helps you power up your profile and get known for what you do.
So, Penny, it's time to stop talking about it and start doing it. Today's tip is something called FACE. What is that?
So the model I'm going to show you is called FACE. It's come about after listening to businessmen and women, experts if you like, on TV and radio for the last 20 years. FACE, it's an acronym. It stands for fact, add detail, comment, example, right? You don't need to remember that right now.
Yeah.
But these are the component parts of really good communication. So you're concise and you're compelling and you're confident sounding. So it's just bringing everything you know front to mind, bringing a real world story to life so people can latch onto it. It's far more memorable, isn't it, when you talk in stories? But I've got one I use quite a lot to show how powerful the story is. So see what you remember of this, Steve. Okay, so my fact would be that I used to work for Radio 4 as a reporter on a business programme. Radio 4, BBC Radio 4.
That's a fact. We can't take that away from you.
No, it's truthful. I'm going to add a bit of detail. One day I was sent to interview the inventor of SMS text messaging.
Sounds interesting. So that's fa. We've got fa.
Yeah. And my comment is, the problem is I was never and have never been into technology particularly. I'm a bit behind the times. I don't really see the point of all the latest stuff and like spending £1,200 on a new iPhone and all that kind of thing. I don't get it.
Or whatever the dollar equivalent is.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happened when you went to see this guy?
When I went to see him, and this is the example bit or the evidence or the real world exciting bit. And when I went to see him, I went to his central London office. It was a very hot day. And I walked up the 5 flights of stairs to get to his office, which was tiny, with loads of books on the shelves. You know, it was messy, and it was a kind of inventor's office. And there he was with a phone in his hand. Now, bear in mind, this was the Nokia days.
The 90s.
Yes, Steve, back in the 90s.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I used to turn my phone off when I didn't need it. Oh, how funny.
So you're there in this inventor's office.
Anyway, so we're there in this inventor's office. He's showing me a new type of phone. It's got a screen on it. And on the screen is a mountain, a snow-covered mountain, blue skies, sunshine. And there are some Japanese students they're skiing at the top of this mountain, and they are on their phones in the same way, but as we know it now, recording themselves on a video.
Doing a selfie at the top of the mountain.
Well, doing a video, actually, and going, "Hello, Mum, we're here at on top of the mountain."
I mean,
in Japanese.
Everyone does that now, but like back in 1990, whatever it was, all you could do was play Snake on your phone.
Exactly. So anyway, he showed me this, and he says, "Penny, this is the future." And I just looked at him and thought in my head, "That'll never take off. Never take off. That's a load of rubbish. Ridiculous." So anyway, out of that, what do you remember the most? What's going to excite you the most, or entertain you, or interest you, or draw you in, or remember the most?
Well, I can see kind of the Japanese students at the top of the mountain.
You
taking
actually
a
visualise
selfie.
them.
Yeah, and I can see the crazy inventor's sort of office up a narrow flight of stairs. And I also remember sort of the Luddite you from the 90s saying this would never catch on. So if people want to try FACE at home, a good starting point for this is just talking about a holiday or your cat, isn't it? You get you get an envelope and you draw a little grid on it. You write FACE.
Why an envelope?
I don't know, or a piece of paper.
Like it's a back of an envelope, sort of. Like back of a fag packet.
Back in the day, you do it on a fag packet, but everyone vapes these days, so you can't do that. So, how might they do? How might they get started with this sort of technique?
Draw a grid, a box of just a cross in the middle of a piece of paper, A4 piece of paper, and then put FACE into each of the quadrants, and then fill in the gaps, fill in the blanks. And it might be that you've got a load of facts. You might have a lot of detail, but your story might not be there just yet. So try and think of the time you lost your luggage, or you burnt the spaghetti bolognese, or your pet ran away, or anything like that, and try and put the visuals on it, explain it in visual terms, take us there to that exact moment of that thing happening and what you felt at the time. And that helps you give your comments and your opinions as well. So have a go.
And you can download a free face planner at the makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com website.
Have a go and tell us about it on the Facebook group of the same name. Or drop us an email, hello@bitfamous.co.uk. I always want to do that hello in a Lionel Richie sort of way. hello@bitfamous.co.uk. Okay, who's making themselves a little bit famous? Today, it's Rose St. Louis. She was taking part in a panel discussion on a large event, a large industry event, and she captured that fact on her smartphone. She took a short video and shared it on Twitter.
So we're really excited. We're going to be shining a light on why women need more protection and why they're underinsured in the industry. So really looking forward to the discussion. And we've got our host and compere, Fiona. She's coming through. She's going to be doing that session. We've got Emma Thompson from Live Search. And we've also got Catherine Trimble. Catherine, say hi. Hi. And now we've been photobombed.
Okay, that's Rose doing a video on Twitter. How did she make herself a little bit famous?
Well, Rose is a really, really good example of someone who's lent into their career as someone who wants to get known for what she does. So she's really passionate about her work. She works in the insurance industry. So as a result of doing that, she's got a little bit more known within her organisation. She's got a little bit more known by her industry. And she is often on air now as a representative of her huge firm on all sorts of television channels talking about insurance, and she's been promoted. Now, I'm not saying she's promoted because of that one video, but she's been promoted and she's really enjoying the uplift in her career and status and all the rest of it, and the good work that she does, because she decided she was going to help raise her profile. She was going to make the effort.
So she didn't just turn up at an event, she spoke at it, and she told people she was doing it.
Correct.
Using video and social media.
Yeah.
Well done, Rose.
So are you making yourself a little bit famous? Why don't you tweet me at Penny Haslam with the hashtag #BitFamous. Hey Steve, have you ever been asked to speak anywhere?
Yes, I was asked to speak at an industry event.
What did you say?
I said I was a bit too scared to stand up on stage in front of my boss, so I decided not to do it. Gee, I wish I had some sort of help with that, but I'm afraid to ask.
It's a shame you hadn't read this.
Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous by Penny Haslam.
That's right. Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. Available Audible, Kindle and Amazon.
Still to come in this episode.
You can't get a bit famous without some social media housekeeping.
This is the bit where we answer your questions about getting out there. Today's question came via our Facebook Live.
Adam runs a newborn and baby photography business. If you go to his Facebook site,
He's got some lovely photos of babies.
Oh my God, they're so creative and clever. They're not just the bog standard baby on a rug. His biggest challenge, he tells us, is that he is in a very competitive, saturated market. That's not just the nappies.
So what's he going to do? Well, I would say photograph dogs. Probably got more... No, I'm joking. Right,
no,
Penny.
not at all.
So, we've had a look at your site. We've what's it called when you have a poke about on someone's site?
Lurk.
And actually, people do this, don't they? People do, like, before they do business with you, they have a good poke about on your site. So we've had a look at your website. We've had a look at your Facebook page briefly. And I know we can feel your pain, Adam, because, back in the day, you could say, I'm a photographer. Do you want photos? And these days, everyone's got a camera, haven't they? You only have to go to a wedding, and like behind the wedding photographer, there's like 15 other taking photos, getting in the way. So it's about kind of differentiating yourself and providing a bit more value. So how...
No, it's not providing value. I think Adam probably provides a lot of value to his customers.
Yeah.
It's showing the value that you bring to your customers. The value of that product or the value of that gift giving is enormous. So, I'm thinking...
What do you mean? I don't really understand.
So for Adam's business, what is the value that his customer is going to receive? It's not just a picture in a box, is it, or a frame. It's a lasting memory.
So are you saying...
to the customer, rather than it just being a photograph.
So are you saying that actually the way he needs to talk about himself is in terms of the feeling the grandparents will get when they get that decent framed photo and they have it on their mantelpiece for the next 30 years.
Yeah, if they last that long in coronavirus.
And the feelings and the enjoyment that creates.
Yes, exactly. So it's the feelings and enjoyment. It's benefits versus features. So your feature is I photograph children and newborns and they're amazing. So great features, and you can come to our studio and all the rest of it. That's a great feature. But the benefit is the feeling it gives you, the lasting impact, the durability of that value to you as a customer. And I think demonstrating that a bit more on your feeds and in the marketing that you do would be really useful to help set you apart. Okay, so if you've got a query about your own fame, why not send us a question? Send it to hello@bitfamous.co.uk or join the Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous Facebook group and post it there. We'd love to see you over there.
It's time for the Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous challenge.
And today it's about tidying up your social media profile.
So my social media profile, I've got a picture of Joey the dog as a banner on one site. Might be LinkedIn, I think, and I've got me with sunglasses on my Twitter thing, and kind of a picture of me and the kids eating cake.
Yeah,
there's one with me with my shirt off on holiday.
So professional.
Why should we tidy up a social profile, Penny?
Well, this is so people can find you. No other reason. It needs to be congruous. So
what does that mean?
It means it needs to fit in with what you talk about and what you deal in. So if you are an expert or have a business or a career in a certain field, you might want to just put that first and foremost. And you're not going to do that by having pictures of your kids or a beach or a mountain. I see so many mountains. It won't be easy to find you if you've got sunglasses on or your social media headshot is a bit distorted or you're looking away. And, just tidy it up. Look a bit more professional. You've got to be your own self-publicist, really. And you wouldn't have a business brand or logo, letterheads or anything that are all different on each paper or each letter you sent out. So this is
try and
the same.
Make it all the same. It's like your photo, maybe use the same decent photo on all the sites.
And on every site, have the same image. And this isn't just about getting on TV and radio for when journalists search you out. This isn't just about events and taking part so when people in audiences can find you. This is really so that you look like you know what you're doing and you look the same all the time. But how many times have you gone to go for a coffee with someone or a meeting with a client you've not met before? You don't know what they look like. You don't know what they look like, perhaps, and you want to have a little bit of a nosy about what they're up to and who they are and what they deal in and all that kind of stuff. If you could present that really quite high up on social media and make your photograph really clear and attractive. I don't mean like attractive as in beautiful. I just mean...
like pouting.
No, I don't mean that. Don't pout. You see a lot of that, don't you?
Just look normal. So
look normal.
What about using a really old photo of yourself, like 20 years out of date? I mean, I've done that where I've gone to meet someone and it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't recognise the 20 years older you from your profile photo.
Who is that?
I can't say.
Can't say.
Okay, so that's the challenge for this week. We want you to tidy up your social profile with your photos.
How long should this take you, Steve, do you reckon?
Ooh, I don't know. It shouldn't take long.
Is it a faff?
No. Take a couple of minutes.
See, I sometimes find it a bit of a faff with the old banner images. So but you can work, find someone who can help you.
Google it.
God's sake, it's not that hard, is it? Right, but yeah, tidy up, make yourself, you're on show, everyone's watching, make sure you put on a good display. You don't look ridiculous.
So that's it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends.
To get involved, check out makeyourselfalittlebitfamous.com or join our Facebook group.
Our email again is hello@bitfamous.co.uk.
You can tweet me @Penny Haslam with the hashtag #BitFamous. I'm Penny Haslam.
I'm Steve Blears. Thanks for listening.
Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous is a podcast from Bit Famous Limited. It's produced and edited by Steve Blears, and music is licensed through Audio Network.